Hey guys, welcome to our SoulFam Podcast, where I interview space holders from all over the world. I'm your host, my name is Karolina, and I'm the manifestation mentor. Today on the show, we have Tom Paladino, the Scalar Energy Researcher. Welcome to the show, Tom. How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you for the invitation, Karolina. Thank you.
I am super excited to talk to you. As I mentioned before, we started recording this because I love talking about science, and this is what we're gonna dive into today. So this is a really, really cool topic for me. And I would love to start with the concept of scalar because, like, a lot of people maybe don't know what scalar energy means specifically. So I would love you to just tell us a little word about that.
Yeah, I work with scalar energy. You're right. And Carolina, it is the energy of the sun and the stars. This is the natural energy of the universe. You do not have to produce this energy. It pre-exists. It pervades the universe. So we're going to speak about scalar energy. It's not electricity. Behind me are scalar energy instruments. I'm going to demonstrate those instruments in operation. And this is the key. What a scalar energy instrument can do is absolutely phenomenal. It's just incredible. So we're going to speak about how scalar energy is quite different than electricity, but the function of these instruments is extraordinary. What a scalar energy instrument can achieve, an electrical instrument cannot achieve.
Wow. So would you say that is the same as chi and prana and all the other, 0 point energy and all the other names that we have for this universal energy, really, that it is? It's the energy that is everywhere and it's within everything, I would say.
You're right. Other terms that are synonymous, chi, prana, 0 point energy, scalar energy, all of those terms refer to the energy of the cosmos. Really, it's a divine energy. And it is different than electricity, which really is a force field of electrons. We're not working with electrons. We're working with pure spirit. This is the spirit energy.
Wow, I love how you talk about it, that it's a spirit energy. And I know that you have already 25 years of experience working with this energy and really researching, diving deep into it. And I'm curious to know, like, because you have your own healing technique that is scalar light. And I'm curious to know for all the people who maybe have never heard of this kind of energy, or maybe they are still doubting that it exists, or they doubt the science behind it. You're a researcher, so you know the science. I would love you to explain in the simplest way possible, as if we were talking to a child. How does it work that you can even, let's say, encompass this energy? You can even sense this energy. You can even measure it somehow.
Okay, I'm going to demonstrate. I'm in my laboratory once again. I'm going to hold up a light bulb in my hand. And I'm going to demonstrate how free energy, this energy, can illuminate my light bulb. So that's an indication of this energy that is everywhere, but in specific, my instrument allows me to illuminate a light bulb. So what's the point? This is like a miniature star. If we have illumination, if we have heat energy from a star, this is a miniature star. And in so doing, I can send this energy anywhere. Why? Star energy is everywhere. You can broadcast it, you can send it anywhere. And the energy carries intelligence. That's the key. Scalar energy carries intelligence. So when I work with people, I never work with people in the flesh. It's quantum energy. I work with people by way of their photograph. This is my photograph. If I were to place my photograph inside the instrument, that instrument would find my quantum field, my force field. So this is not a biological process. I'm working through the aura, the spirit, the quantum. It's all information. So by placing this photograph inside the instrument, it's like I am enjoying a chakra balancing. If I can illuminate a light bulb, then I can illuminate my brain waves and my 7 chakras with this energy.
Wow, this is interesting though, because like for the people who don't really know about quantum physics, and for them it might be a completely just something that they cannot understand. How would you explain it in a simple way? Like, why can it work on distance? Like, how does the
Yep.
quantum field work?
Okay, well, right now you and I are having a conversation through our computers. This is a computer talk, so to speak. Now, your image is in my computer. You're not in my computer. Well, likewise, I take my image and I put it in the instrument. So this instrument works like a computer. It's an information system. Just like our computers are having this conversation. This is an information system. So we're working with information, intelligence, information. All of my work is non-physical, it's information.
So are there any, let's say, science experiments and quantum physics experiments that you would recommend for people who are maybe doubtful about this topic or maybe would like to explore it deeper?
Yeah. Study Nikola Tesla, the great scientist. Okay? Study Tesla. Tesla was the first man to develop scalar energy. Tesla was, if you will, the forefather of scalar energy. When he introduced to the world this free energy, we should have listened to him. Well, I'm trying to follow up in his footsteps because Tesla was ready to give the world free energy. These are free energy devices, and we will change the course of history with this technology, with this type of scalar energy technology.
That's so beautiful. And I truly believe that we will. And how does that correlate to, for example, let's say distance Reiki healing? Because Reiki is also like an energy. I'm also a Reiki level 2 practitioner, although I haven't started from Reiki. I've started from fasting, and then I received this energy just coming into my body, and I was just like, okay, there is an energy that exists beyond what I can see or feel with my senses, right? So I had an experience first of the energy, and then I even discovered like what it is. But how does that correlate to, for example, Reiki energy healing? Because to me, if I do distance healing on someone, I can also, let's say, either imagine this person in my mind or have the picture of this person in front of my eyes, and I can just send the energy there. So is that a similar principle that it's based on when it comes to scalar light?
Yes, yes, that's brilliant. Exactly. When people pray, or when people say lay their hands on somebody, or some people say through meditation that they can send a blessing to somebody, all of that is scalar energy. So you see now, this is thought, this is prayer, this is a thought machine, this is a prayer machine that works with non-physical intelligence. It's so important because the intelligence always precedes the action. So this is cause and effect. This is the cause of the universe. Before you have a universe, you have to have intelligence. So this is the intelligence, the information that precedes creation. This is the intelligence that gives rise to the universe.
Wow, I love how you talk about it, that it's so divine, because like really it is all divine. And I'm curious to know, because you've done research about this energy. So how is this different when you, for example, touch, because for example, when you do Reiki healing hands-on, it's, to me at least, feels different than when you do it on distance. And how would you say that this is different if you, for example, had someone literally there with you in the room, and the energy works on the light, right? The scalar light works on them, versus like having a picture. Is this even different, or do you feel like the effectiveness or the mechanisms, let's say, that are present are the same?
Good question. It's the same. Why? Because there is no distance. Whether I'm standing next to the instrument or my photograph, which is my bilocated version, is next to the instrument, it's the same identical energy. There is no distance, there is no space or time in scalar energy. See, this is what is so peculiar to this type of dimension. We overcome space and time. There is no space. So whether you're somewhere outside of the United States, it doesn't matter. If you sent me your photograph, it is as if you bilocate to my laboratory, and your aura or your spirit is being captured by way of this instrument.
That's amazing. And do you feel like it works also because we set an intention, this picture is going to represent me right now? Or because, like, if, for example, some people might be like, oh my God, no, if someone takes my picture and sends to Tom, and they will be sending me energy without me knowing about it, because this is me bilocating there, and maybe someone can enter my energy without my permission or something like that. So is it about also us intending to send this energy to this person, and this person actually opening up their energy field to receive it? Or like, how does it work?
That's very good. I like that. We always tell people that you need permission. If you send in your photograph, that's fine. But if you're going to send in your family, just get their permission. Now, keep in mind, when we're working with this spectrum of energy, it's nothing like electricity. So it doesn't matter where you're located in the world, your photograph is, again, your bilocated version. Okay? Now, it is intention. I've noticed that people who have a good positive attitude, when they send us their photograph, their healing is accelerated. However, People also send us photographs of their pets, their dog, their cat, the horse, and their dog, their cat, the horse benefits. Now, I don't think most people would consider their dog, cat, or horse to understand this mechanism. So what's the point? Whether you're cognizant or not, it still is going to perform a health benefit for you. Scalar energy cannot be impeded by anything. Let me demonstrate what I mean by that. I'm going to hold up a chopping board. This is a wooden chopping board. And I'm going to place it by the instrument. And then I'm going to take a light that I hold in my hand. The light is in its factory packaging. And if I place this light next to the instrument, it still illuminates. So the energy passes through the wooden board. Nothing can stop this. So no matter where you live in the world, it will pass through the earth. It will pass through the galaxy. It will pass through the sea, through a mountain range. It doesn't matter. So what is my point? Nothing can stop this energy. It's the energy of the cosmos. It's everywhere. So the point is, welcome to the future. Welcome to the universal force field, scalar energy.
So this is amazing. I'm loving this conversation, by the way. Thank you so much for sharing all that, because I have so many questions. Just relating it to Reiki healing or energy healing at large, I'm just thinking, okay, so for example, when we do Reiki healing, and I'm just going to compare it to that because I think that principles of how it works are similar. We work with the same field of energy. Let's say that we send a specific amount of energy in a specific time. So that means that, let's say, we send a specific amount, right? So like on one hand, we say, okay, it doesn't have, it's beyond space and time and so on, but still we work, let's say if we work for an hour, it's going to have different effect if we work for 15 hours or something like that. So is there any speed or is there any, like, let's say boundaries of how much of this energy a person can receive? Or is it also dependent on our intention and their receptiveness? Or how does that work?
You know, no matter where you're located in the universe, you're receiving energy from the sun and the stars. Let's face it, there's trillions upon trillions of galaxies, and they always send us this star energy, so you cannot escape it. Now, what you do with that and how you accept it, that's different. Whether you accept that and you want to enhance your well-being, so be it. But again, I must underscore, you cannot stop this energy. The stars give us much more energy than this instrument. So my point is, we all are swimming in scalar energy, in scalar light, whether we realize it or not. It gives us our life. Without scalar light, there is no life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but then let's say, for example, we work with this scalar light, right, for some time. And then in order to cure a specific, let's say, disease or whatever, we need to work on it for some time. So we're already swimming in it, but yet it will take us time to heal from that. So like, how does time relate to all that in terms of like healing?
Let me explain one of my modalities. I'm going to hold up a photograph of Staphylococcus epidermidis. Staphylococcus epidermidis is a bacterium. It's a skin bacterium. I'm going to place these two photographs of Staph epidermidis inside the instrument next to my photograph. Now, these two energy fields associate with one another. Staphylococcus epidermidis communicates, will connect with my photograph. It's a connection, it's a communication. In so doing, I can download the energy of staph into me, and if I had that bacterium, it would eradicate it. The force field found in my quantum field, in my quantum body, this arrangement would serve to eradicate that bacteria.
Okay, so like you set an intention for that and you use the scalar light, but you say like you have a, so it is based on a specific device, or it is based only on your intention? Because like we are powerful creators as well. So is the device an enhancer of our intention and our energy and our creative force, let's say, that we have already? Because I believe that if I took my photograph and some virus and I just set an intention, okay, right now my body is, you know, producing whatever it needs to produce to get rid of this virus, and I'm just sitting with this intention, super focused on it, like focusing my energy, my prana, my chi on this intention, this would also happen because like I'm the creator. So how does the scalar light device like enhance, or does it enhance it, or does it yeah, like how does it work with our intention and with what we can do, and how is it different using it versus not using it and doing it only by ourselves?
Yes, that's a great question. I want people to get involved. I want people to align themselves and to participate in the healing. So eventually, I think people, once they become so filled with faith and conviction, that they will be able to heal themselves. In many ways, this is a stepping stone to that threshold of healing. But by all means, when people participate in the healing, when they set their intention, I've seen that usually their healing is accelerated. It happens at a rate that is really quite exceptional as compared to people who don't set that intention, to people who don't have that mindset. So to underscore that matter, please have a good attitude. Please have a positive attitude, and then participate in your healing.
So you feel like if we are participating, if we're setting this intention, it enhances what scalar light can do.
Yes, of course it can. Yes.
And
exactly.
So if we do use the scalar light and don't use it and only set the intention by itself, is that also a similar effect? Or would you say that for, let's say, for the skeptics who maybe need the device and like they really are logical, they need the researcher and the quantum physics and all of it behind it, they maybe be more, it's kind of like a placebo effect. Maybe they will be more inclined to think, okay, this is going to work, and that's why it works. And for some other people who might be like, okay, I'm so feeling like I am the creator and I am God and I can do anything and I don't need any device and I'm going to be more powerful without it, then this is how it's going to work. Like how do you perceive that?
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I think we all have to depend upon God. And I think when we align ourselves, when we unite ourselves with God, this is God's energy. And hence our ability is enhanced immeasurably. So I'm trying to introduce not only a healing device, but a new way of living. If this is divine energy and we can unite ourselves to that divine energy, yeah, sure, it's going to be able to eradicate bacteria, but it's going to be able to do so much more. It will be able to learn. Our cognitive ability will be enhanced. Our spiritual level will be enhanced. We'll be happier. We'll be in a state of euphoria. So this is really, again, a stepping stone to the future, just to show what the intelligence of the universe has in store for us. But all of your points are valid. Yes, people should participate. Why not? It's only natural. Now, I also want to make this very clear. Everybody has two scalar energy vessels that are incredible. Your mind, your brain, and your heart. Okay? Your thoughts, your emotions are scalar waves. When you think, when you feel, those are scalar waves. So this is not a foreign topic. The mind, the human heart are scalar energy instruments. And the mind and the heart far exceed my instrument and capability. So what's the point? Well, why not use your mind and heart to the fullest extent?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm thinking, because like, for example, I would love to try scalar light because I love all these like different devices. I have Healy, I have Rive. I'm just, I'm a healer myself. So I love just exploring all these different modalities and ways of healing. But I also believe like I can pretty much heal anything myself, because I know that if I set up my mind to something, I can produce the wave that is the opposite to what is detrimental to me, right? So I think that it's actually really nice to talk about this. I think I saw it on Dr. Bruce Lipton's seminar once, where he explained how this works, where when you have a wave of energy, like everything is energy. So you have a wave of energy that is a harmful energy for you. And then you produce the wave that is like the same, but it has different like period. Like it's a little bit, it's kind of like covering up itself. So it's interfering. So then out of two waves, it becomes zero, right? So it neutralizes itself. Yeah. Like I don't actually know how to explain it scientifically especially not in English. Exactly.
Yes, in phase and out of phase.
Exactly. So then when they are canceling each other out pretty much, then you can heal, because the energy that was detrimental before now becomes neutral to you. So I believe that we can all do it with our minds. Although I do believe that for some people, let's say, using something like Healy is very supportive, especially for people that are, let's say, more in a victim mindset, or more in like, I really need help, I really need external support, I really need someone to do something for me so that I can get out of my mindset that nothing works. And then once I'm out of the mindset, I can be more empowered in my own energy, in my own ability to create change in my body. And so I feel like it's a very great stepping stone, as you mentioned before, for people who maybe really need this scientific devices and scientific stuff to support them on their healing journey, right?
Brilliant, brilliant. And I resonate with your enthusiasm. Yes. And again, what are we getting at here? This is a new science. This is not electricity. I want to simply introduce that there is information in the universe that we can capture, scalar energy, chi, prana. This is a scalar energy instrument. And once we can capture that energy, that information, then we can do so many things with this energy. My point as a pioneer is to introduce this. And right now I have the ability, working through photographs, to improve quantum health, balancing the chakras to eliminate bacteria and viruses. That's just the stepping stone. But you see the big picture here. This is a way of living. You're absolutely right. And that's what I want to introduce, is a new technology that will change our lives.
I truly believe that it will. And so I'm curious about the technology, like like, if you can explain, because like I have no idea, literally zero idea how to build something like that, right? Like I have zero idea. How did you even come up with it? Like, how did you know that, okay, if I take this and that, like, of course you were studying Nikola Tesla and other amazing scientists, but still, it's like, for me, it's just so complicated. And if you could explain it in a very simple way, like how can you even capture and, let's say, just take this energy from the ether into directing it into something, like using the device? For me, it's like, whoa, like I'm really proud of you, and I'm really grateful for you that there are people like you in this world who actually understand this stuff.
Well, thank you. It's a long study, so to speak. I've been at this for 50 years. The initial inventor is a man by the name of Galen Hieronymus. I studied under his family. So I'm not the initial inventor. But the key is this: you cannot think in electromagnetic terms. You have to be open that there's another form of energy, and that you have to develop instrumentation to capture that natural energy. Now, to be very clear, there is no power plant. The stars are the power plant. And when we send this energy out, you don't need an infrastructure. The infrastructure is the universe. So you cannot think in terms of electricity where you need a power plant, where you need substations, where you need motors. The motor are the stars. It's an entirely different way of looking at energy and energy propagation. The key is this: you have to realize that there are two energies once again, and you have to calibrate an instrument to capture that other energy. This is not the movement of electrons. I'm not speaking about an electrical field around electrons. No, I'm speaking about the free energy of stars. And in composition, it's a double helix. It looks like DNA, frankly.
Yeah, I'm a master of sustainable energy, so I know a little bit about energy from a different perspective, although now I'm more of a master of human energy, honestly, not sustainable energy anymore. But yeah, it is such a great concept to experience this energy and to actually know that it exists by just feeling it, right? So I feel like it would be best if people can actually experience it. And as you said, there is, I think you mentioned 15 days of free healing with your device so that people can experience it. And after 2 weeks, check, okay, are there any changes in my life, in my body, in my mind, in my energy that I can actually feel after this, correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's the key. I want to introduce this to the world. I want the world to start sending me their photograph. And through a grassroots movement, then I want people to share their experience. Now, keep in mind, I'm alone. I'm the only researcher with this instrument. I'm the only one advancing this particular type of instrumentation. So how do I prove it to the world? I let the world prove it to the world. I let people sign up for my 15 days of free sessions, and then they share the word, so to speak, by word of mouth.
Absolutely. And I'm curious to know, and maybe this is like, a completely different topic here, but I'm curious to know whether you had any encounter with any psychedelics before, because to me, this was one of the most eye-opening experience to actually experience this energy, see this energy, feel this energy, and just have no doubts about this energy at all because I've experienced it on my own skin, so to speak. So have you ever had any conversations about that versus, the science behind the prana or chi or scalar energy?
No, I don't take psychedelics, but I do pray. And I prefer to pray the rosary. That in many ways gives me wisdom. That gives me insight. So you're right, by praying or opening up your mind to these concepts, you enter into the realm of spirit. So you're able to be taught by God. You enjoy the knowledge of God. That's so important. And that's a good point. All of my work is groundbreaking. This is not taught by academia. Why? Well, only God can teach this.
Well, also because I feel like if it was taught by academia, a lot of pharmaceutical companies and other companies would just completely bankrupt. So
Yeah.
I think it doesn't really pay off for them to teach about this, right?
No, you're right. You're right. This is the easy way of doing things. Let's face it. If in the future we can start illuminating our homes through scalar energy, we don't need expensive energy. So this eventually will be free energy or inexpensive energy for the world. Again, this will change the social order. Scalar energy is the technology that will change everything.
I truly believe that as well. And I think that when I read a little bit about Tesla in the past, because I was super into like quantum physics and stuff in the past, I actually read something that at some point in the future, we will be actually using free energy all the time, everywhere. And so how do you see it that we're going to actually use it as electricity, let's say, like, I mean, to light it all up? Like, are we going to use also the power of our intentions and the power of the new devices that can encapsulate this energy, take it from the ether and just like stream it, let's say, towards something specific?
Yeah, I think we're going to see in the future that our minds will be able to interface with scalar energy. So the instrument will not be the sole operator. We should be able to interface our thoughts with the scalar energy instrument. Some people think that's going to be the future of anti-gravity. You can move an anti-gravity instrument by thought, and that thought will download and allow you to manipulate gravity. But that's a different consideration. Nonetheless, what am I getting at? This is all encompassing, okay? Eventually, we're going to, if you will, marry the person, our thoughts, to a scalar energy instrument. And in so doing, we're just an extension, if you will, of the instrument. Now, the instrument does not supersede us as human beings, but we now are able to use this functioning instrument like we use a car, like we use a computer. And the greater our ability, the greater our ability to use a car, an airplane, a computer, the greater our ability to use this energy to master the world. If we can master the skies flying with a jet, if we can master information through a computer, then eventually we'll be able to master gravity with an anti-gravity instrument, or we'll be able to master our mind or download thoughts into our mind through a scalar energy computer. So whatever we're doing today with computers, planes, refrigerators, cars, we can do it much easier and, if you will, in a consummate fashion with scalar energy.
Wow, I'm actually a little bit like, I don't know, moved by the idea of downloading thoughts into the mind. It's kind of like as if you could download a book into your mind or whatever. Just
Yes.
download some wisdom. Do you feel like that is a possibility in the future?
Yes, you've heard of many saints who've had infused wisdom. Some people, in a flash, so to speak, will understand a topic or some type of, if you will, subject matter. And it's not by studying, it was just an afflatus or some type of what they call an illumination. Well,
Download.
as per my work, it is an illumination of scalar energy. You cannot illuminate the mind that quickly with electricity and magnetism. You can illuminate the mind in a consummate fashion with scalar energy. Now, this is the gift that Tesla had. Tesla had a scalar energy mind. He had downloads. He had flashes of light. He said that himself, flashes of light. And when he had that flash of light, he could see an invention. He did not think it was infused knowledge. I want to make this very clear. Tesla had that gift of infused knowledge, where he did not have to think and go to the laboratory and experiment. God gave him infused knowledge and he could invent.
And so that's similar, I feel, to the concept of like flow state. I think being present and just opening yourself up to just, I call it like intuitive downloads. You call it infused knowledge. Like that's pretty much the same when you just download information. And sometimes people don't even know what they are writing about or drawing or whatever. Like just this information comes to them and then they just, for example, their hand is moving but they don't have any idea like what is happening. It's just God through them expressing something that they tapped into. So do you feel like our ability to create this energy, like direct this energy, manipulate this energy, is directly linked to how much we perceive ourselves as God, like, as universal consciousness, as the part of me? Okay, I'm Karolina, but I'm also one of the specks of dust in the whole, or a cell in the body of the universe, as I like to call it. And the more I am aware that I am the cell, the more I can actually create, the more I can tap into receiving this infused knowledge, as you call it, and the more power my energy, also my intention and my emotions as well, and direction when I direct my energy somewhere has. Do you perceive this to be true?
Yes. This will unite us with God. This is divine energy. And when we unite with divine energy, we're perfect. This is the perfect information system. This is the road to perfection. This is the road to perfect spirituality, perfect cognitive ability, perfect physical ability. That's where we're going. It's the singular point. It's homeostasis. It's the divine essence. It's so important to realize that, so that we're no longer disjointed. No, then we unite with God. This will unite mankind with God.
Wow, I love that you speak like this about this device. It is absolutely amazing. I'm loving this conversation. And so I have a question, because you have different like programs on your device. Like there is a nutrient therapy and there is a pathogen cleanse, and like it can heal all these viruses, bacteria. So how does it work that once it can give you nutrients and once it can, disassemble some pathogens?
Yep, yep. Well, remember we spoke about in phase and out of phase? When I
Yeah.
work with a bacterium, right, Staphylococcus, epidermidis, we can break it apart. That's out of phase, out of phase. Then when I work with a vitamin, it's in phase. So I have another instrument in which I work with these two photographs side by side. The vitamin is downloaded into my quantum field in phase, so I create the vitamin. So you're absolutely right. So this is the reach, this is the ability of scalar energy to break apart what's harmful or to create what's beneficial.
Okay, and that brings me to a completely maybe random question, but I'm not sure if you want to go there with me, but I just thought about it. I think it's interesting because I've done fasting in the past and I've been very much into the topic of breatharianism, where people don't eat and they can still live, right? By the energy of God or universe or whatever. And I've done like 3 weeks fast, and then I was only on liquids for like 6 months. And I discovered that when I meditated, I was just like, okay, my body now takes all the nutrients and all the energy, all the vitamins, everything that it needs. I just take it from the ether. And I just meditated like that with the intention. And I felt like for me, this had no effects on my health whatsoever, apart from the fact that I had more energy. I felt better. I felt, energized like never before. And I've done all these blood tests and everything because my mom and my family were super scared. Like it's very abnormal for them to do something like that. But I found that for me, it actually was amazing. And I also had the mindset and the intention that said, okay, if I don't eat, but I'm, only eating this much, or I'm only on liquids even, or when I just don't eat for like a week, let's say, because I did dry fast as well, my body can still receive whatever it needs from the ether, and then it's fine. However, I know that some people go into this kind of process and they cannot, like they literally, their body is deteriorating and everything. So my question is, do you feel like it's a lot about people's perception and their intention behind this perception, or their fears or confidence for the sake, when it comes to this kind of work where something can be beneficial or deteriorating for you and your body when you like? And also to that, do you feel like it is possible for a human to not eat at all, not drink at all, and still receive so much of this universal energy, receive all the nutrients from the ether? Like, yeah, I just want to ask you these questions because they are super exciting.
By experience, many people tell me this vitamin program, this nutrient program, allows them to skip a meal or to reduce their food intake. Why? Because finally their body is being signaled that they have the necessary nutrients that they need through energy. So you're absolutely right. Some people can fast and they can lower their desire for food. Now, with this instrument and with this type of technique, it's more or less like fasting every day, in which you're receiving the nutrients through energy. It's not a caloric intake, it's an energy intake. And that reduces your appetite. And in so many ways that this is an ongoing fasting technique. I'll speak for myself. I only need 2 meals a day. I haven't had anything to eat this morning. I'm not hungry because this energy provides me the nutrients that I need.
And that's amazing because all the spiritual teachers were fasting as well, right? Like Jesus, Buddha, and all these big figures in our spiritual field were fasting. So they had to receive the energy from God, from the universe, from the divine, however you want to call it, somehow. So I truly believe that. And that brings me to a question. Do you feel like if someone believes that this scalar light device can harm them rather than heal them, would it actually harm them?
No, I'm a Christian. I won't do that. And that's one of the reasons I guard this technology. I won't release this to anybody. And by the way, Nikola Tesla did not release his scalar energy technology to anybody either. It must be used in appropriate hands. This must be used by God-fearing people. It's a very strong energy. Its ability is vast. So in the future, we're going to have to marry, if you will, we're going to have a marriage between technology and morality. Great technology needs great morality.
And so, of course, the technology might be used kind of like a knife, right? It could be used to cut fruits and it could be probably used to stab someone. But the device itself, like I understand that it's behind the person, like it's about the person that is behind the device that is like operating it and their intention as well. But what if someone has a really strong belief, kind of like a nocebo effect, right? Where they believe that this is not going to help them, or to the opposite, that this is going to harm them. Like, is it even possible to harm yourself by your own beliefs while using it because you're going to think that it's going to happen?
Well, I think anybody's open to have their opinion about anything. Now, if you have a negative thought, then you're going to incorporate that negative thought. Now, this instrument is not negative. It's energy from God. It's the light of God. But your negative thoughts will produce a negative consequence for you. So we have to be very mindful. Whatever we say, speak, how we feel, that's the world that we create for ourselves. If you're a happy person, you're going to create a happy environment. If you're negative, you'll create a negative environment.
Yeah, I believe in that. I believe if we have negative thoughts, it's going to be harmful for us, whether we use the device or not, because this is just a disharmonious energy and the energy in our body cannot flow if we have a lot of these suppressed emotions and just negativity within us. And so one last question, I think, because we need to go, although I think I could speak for a few hours more about these topics, is about how to say, like, do you believe that with this device, the miracles can happen in terms of, can it be immediate when you set a strong intention? And for example, is it even different when you set an intention with a few people? Let's say that there are, let's say, 5 Tom Paladinos, like let's say 5 of you, and you all put intention into healing someone. Does it depend on the intention of someone who gives the healing? Does it depend on the intention of someone who receives the healing? Like, is the miracle possible? I mean, instant healing, like God's healing instantly, kind of like Jesus, kind of like all the other teachers.
Yes, remember Jesus said, when 2 or more are gathered in my name, I am there in their midst. That is prayer. That is group prayer. That is group consciousness. It works. Many people, whether you have a family with a group consciousness or a corporation or a nation or a social club, you have that collective consciousness. It's incredible what we can do as a group. That's why I advocate a grassroots movement with my work. There's no politics. There's no money involved. There's no pride. Okay, there's no corruption. It's just the consciousness, the collective consciousness, the collective prayers of people. This is the key to success. As soon as you have division, I don't care how big your entity is, you're going to face destruction. As long as you keep it simple and pure, you will succeed.
So that seems to me also that if someone was to use the scalar light device, it depends very much on their level of consciousness in terms of how tapped they are into divine self, into their true self, really, and not trapped in the ego, in their mind, in their fear, and so on. Would that be correct to say?
That's accurate. Yes, of course. So you see that this is a mind instrument. This is just an extension of my mind. I got up this morning at very early and I started working with my mind instrument and I changed the world. I was working with 500,000 photographs today. Why? Because I sent that intention with this instrument. Imagine that, 500,000 photographs today. Why? Because I set my mind and I set my intention and I succeeded. I got rid of all the politics. I got rid of all the nonsense and I focus. And this is what I see in you. You can focus and you can make it a good day. And you could see what this means. Once you set your intention, the result will simply follow.
That's beautiful. And that's what the double slit experiment tells us as well, right? Like when we see the electrons being either a point or a wave, and when there's observer, when we focus somewhere, it goes into one laser focused place, whereas if we don't, then it's a wave and it can be everywhere. It's more like a potential. So that's one of the experiments that are very clear to me. So if any of you guys who listen are not familiar with quantum physics, I think this is a good one to understand why our consciousness can literally shape reality.
Yes, and that double slit experiment shows that your mind, your thoughts are projecting the outcome. That's a great. And that is only made possible by scalar energy. Scalar energy is the thought of the universe. And hence the double slit experiment shows how consciousness, our thoughts, shape reality. Very good.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tom. So one last question to spread the wisdom and to spread the word about your work. Like, what's the best way that people can find you and maybe sign up for this free healing? And where's your content available?
Okay, the website is scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Go to the website, read the articles, and then when you're ready, send your photograph and get permission of your family, send their photographs in also. Then you experience the quantum healing. This is unique. It's never been done before. Again, these are unique instruments, so I rely upon your testimony, your feedback.
Amazing. I will do it for sure. I'll ask all my family members if they want to experience it, because to me, it's very exciting. I can feel your passion and your service and your mission in it. And it's really the soul speaking through you, I feel. So thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciated this conversation. It was great. And I hope we get to chat again in the future.
My pleasure, Karolina. My pleasure.
Thank you so much, my beautiful friends, for listening to us today. This was such an exciting conversation for me. I love merging science and spirituality together. And this is exactly what we discussed with Tom. So, I love it. Absolutely love it. I hope that you love it too. So if you are watching it on YouTube, please leave a comment below what you think about it. What's your thoughts? And yeah, maybe you had some internal breakthrough. Thanks to this conversation. So if you'd like to follow me, I am Karolina Kuraj on Instagram. So Karolina with K.Kuraj. If you want to follow our podcast, it's at We Are SoulFam on Instagram. And the podcast is on Spotify, YouTube, and all podcast platforms as well. And if you want to learn about manifestation, let me know, because I'm the manifestation mentor and I can help you out with manifesting your dream life. So thanks again for being with us, and I'm wishing you a beautiful day.